much for joining me on My Life on Paper. I am Brianna, and I am joining Off the Board with Pineapple Papers for the month of July, playing here and there when I can. Today, today is Sunday, so Sketch Sunday, and we're all using the sketch from Kelly Hollifield, and that's with sketchandscrap.blogs. Let's try that again. sketchandscrap.blogspot.com. So the pin that I am using goes lovely along with this. So first the pictures I picked out. You can see in the sketch there are 3 photos, and I was able to make these. Now I make these. I use the Project Life app. It's a free app, and then you can put 2 photos on a 4x6. You can make 3 4x3. Oh my goodness, gotta slow down. 2 3x4 photos on 1 4x6. So, if you go to like a Walgreens or Walmart, they're going to charge you more for wallets. But if you print 2 of them on a 4x6, and this isn't necessarily wallet size, but it's 3x4, and then you can print 2 more, or it also gives you the option of printing like a little card. I have some. Let's see. Here's one. I just have them off on my desk, so you get to pick different things and make a card out of it, so that you can use for decorating your page. These are pictures from January when we went to Magic Kingdom at Disney World, and I used 3 different filters. So what really grabbed me right off the bat was this paper. It's Admit 1. It does say Ferris wheel and carousel, but Admit 1. And this lovely orange color matches with the little orange guy that's in the filter. So I really like that. And when I pulled that, I like the green with the crown I'm wearing here, and with Tinkerbell's dress there. And then from there, I pulled out some other interesting things. This is, and I think that one's too thin. You can see those banners behind. So this gave me the vibe of like celebratory being at Disney. I pulled out this paper which matches, and I think I'm gonna have to kind of cut it so that it looks like one piece, but it's gonna be cut behind here. And then what other, was I thinking of doing this one? I did, actually this one's gonna go along the front here. You can see there's a couple pieces of paper along the front. I don't have everything figured out yet. I pulled out this red because there is red in here. There's red in the flowers. I was a little worried that it might look too much like Christmas, and that is why I'm probably not, because I have this red in case I need some more red or other red. But I did kind of think of using this as a background, but I was afraid it might be too much green. I kind of like it. So that's an option as well. So that's what I have started so far. You can see I have lovely scraps. Who knows where I'm gonna go with this, but I have lots of options. I could use a piece of yellow somewhere, because that yellow goes with the orange. And so what I'm gonna do is get scrapping. I completely forgot to mention the pin I'm using. So the pin at the beginning was a banner that you can see in the sketch is a banner, and silly me never thought to make the banner Disney related. So the pin inspired me to put Mickey heads on the banner, which I should have come up with myself, and unfortunately did not. I can't take credit for that. So that was a good find on my Pinterest board when I went looking. And you'll see that momentarily. So here I cut down the yellow to be one of those strips behind, and I want them all the exact same size, and so I'm being particular and careful. I feel like even though I've got all these pieces done already, that this layout takes me a long time. I sped this up 4 times The video still is another 10 minutes long. I'm not sure what took me so long, but I guess we'll find out as we go here along together. Probably one of the hardest things for me to do was to line up the pieces that weren't one piece, line those up together. Normally that doesn't take me that long, so I'm not sure where the problem is. Here I'm putting the pattern paper down just to make sure I've got room for everything. It's long enough, it's not too long. You will see my banners going up and down. They are going to be longer than what the sketch is. Not a big deal at all. You can make your banners as long or as short as you want, but I'm one that usually, at least the first time, follows the sketch to a T, so I just wanted to point that out. And you don't have to. You can take this, you can take from this sketch whatever you want, down to just the color inspiration, honestly. So here, I like this is a Fisker's ruler, and I like it because it's got all those grids on there, and you can tell, is this straight up and down? I matched it up with the top of the page and the bottom of the page, and yes, it is lined up. And so then I go with the second to get the banner part on the bottom as I wanted it, and then make sure the blue part lines up. I fishtail bannered the first one, the blue one, just by making a cut in the middle and then coming in from either side. And then I overlaid it onto the other two pieces to make that same exact cut. And that's how I like to do it, just to make sure mine are all uniform. While I am struggling to get these all straight, I just want to mention, check down below in that I'll have the playlist for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and then I'll also have the group listed that's playing along with Sketch Sunday. And I don't know if you can notice, guys, but I apologize for this. My camera mount slides. It will not stay in the same spot. I think my thing is stripped. It's tight. The clamp is tight, but when I speed it up this fast, you will see my camera move across my desk, and I got to figure out something else to do because it's driving me crazy. I hope it doesn't drive you guys crazy. So I do trim off those ends once I finally get them all straight, and then I take that middle piece and lay it down to make sure that it's covering all my wonkiness and cut strips, and making sure my photos still lay in the right spot. So I put down my strips and you can see those are kind of patched together, but then I realize I don't want the green one first. Instead, I really want the multicolored one first, and so I'll take that one off and lay them back down again in the right order. And I think it helps the green one stand out by having it overlaid over on top of the white with the pattern on it. And the other thing was I cut it a little bit shorter, I think intentionally, when I had originally laid it out. And then I'm deciding, yep, I want a little thinner, as this sketch is. So I'm just going to trim just a little bit off of that, and then lay it back on top and get it cattywampus there. And then I'll go to the banner. The banner I cut out with my Cricut. It's this thin little strip for the string, and then I'll have the flags. But I glue down these pictures, kind of like they have it in the sketch, where it's a little bit off kilter again. But I kind of wanted to place over the top of the strips behind them as well. So that's kind of my guideline to get them lined up correctly. And I will put some liquid glue onto that string, which is pretty darn thin, but it works nicely. And then I can lay it down, and then because it's kind of long and not super easy to work with, I'll use my scissors just to kind of sneak it into place where I want it. And I kind of tuck it behind the green paper there, so that it really looks like it's hanging from somewhere. And I first I think I first tried the yellow, but then realized I'm going to end up with the blue laying over that blue strip. So that's why the blue got moved up. And then you'll notice too, the yellow and the green get moved around, not because it matters on the left-hand side of the page, but because on the right-hand side, it needs to be that way so the yellow doesn't end up on the yellow. So there is a method to my madness. And when I get them laid where I want them to, I will then start to use my ATG to get them glued down. No real, it's not rocket science. It's just eyeballing it, making sure it looks good. I do refer to the Cricut app just to see is this the way that Cricut intended it to. You can see there's strings on either side. I could have moved them further apart, but especially with putting the title on, it makes sense to scoot them all together. So that you can read the title better. And interesting enough, the title I came up with because by this point I was like, oh, a title. I should put a title on there. And I was like, okay, I have 6 flags. What do I want to say? So I actually went on the internet. This is the first time I've done this, and I've heard people do this before, but I searched 6 letter word for celebration. And I got several. Most of them didn't work. Fiesta is what I ended up with, which is cool. Party, celebration, fiesta. So I went with Fiesta. I did cut the Mickey heads out of the Cricut. I have a punch, but it's a little bit bigger. I knew it wouldn't fit on those flags. And I also used the Cricut to cut out the fonts Fiesta for the letters, and then I could make them exactly what size I wanted them to get them to fit in the Mickey ears. And there is a point where I think, oh, it's not going to fit. But I did pull out my LE Studio stamp set with the stars. It is called Star Notes Stamp. And I knew this would be perfect for this layout. I want to use more of my stamps on my layouts, and I tend to forget. So I was super glad when I just saw this one laying next to my desk. I haven't used it yet, so I did season the stamps before using them. And I pulled out my Catherine Pooler ink. I think it says Midnight. It's in black, and I really love these inks for stamping things. They're so nice and juicy. And look at this image. Turns out perfectly. The star in the left says super, and the star that's going to go on the right hand corner, just like in the sketch, says fun. And they just stamped amazingly with that nice and juicy Catherine Pooler ink. So I could have used different colors, but you know, there was a touch of black with the Mickey heads, and I just thought it's a little bit of black to bring to different parts of the layout. So that worked well, and then I just cut them out. I thought about making a title block. There's lots of other stamps in that set to journal with, but I'm not sure I'm going to journal on this page. It'll have a page opposite it, and then I might journal on the opposite page. So that's something I can always add later. So here I am. I did put foam tape on the back of these letters just a little bit to give them a little height. I think it kind of finishes off the page nicely. And then I'm going to put some splatters on, just white splatters. And again, it's just another finishing touch that really finishes up nicely. So make sure that you look to see everybody's playing along below. I'm really enjoying playing along with these hops, these celebrations. Last month was 30 days of sketches. This month it's off the board with pineapple papers. I'm still getting caught up from last month, but I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you again soon for another video.